Sing along with the fans, boy, yelling, watch this. No, they can't stop this on every top list. Homecoming poppin', yeah, we cannot miss. It ain't no question, I'm a Panther. Set the boy every time that we do it, they do it. Now I'm reppin' purple, gold, flick, pose. Another touchdown party in the end zone. Reppin' purple, gold, flick, pose. Another touchdown party in the end zone. You know, yeah.
boy Lionel, class of 2009, back with another episode of PV versus everybody. And y'all already know what it is, man. I'm super excited today to be in the building because if you don't know, right, if you haven't been seeing what's going on, then I really don't know where you've been. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we really been getting it in, man. It's really been going down in Panther Nation, and so we got a lot to talk about today. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming to you this evening, man. But of course, first and foremost, y'all already know what we got to do, man. We got to talk first and foremost about what I need you guys to do. Since y'all are in the building already, go ahead and like and subscribe, to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Follow me over on PV_versus_ everybody as well. Like and subscribe to the channel. And listen, you already know what the goal is, 750 subs. All right, we're on our way to 750. We creeping up slowly but surely. We already hit that 700 mark, and now we on our way to the big 750. We appreciate everybody that's in the building. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Jimmy got a little something this evening. You know what I'm saying? Little surprise show for everybody. You feel me? I see Isaiah's in the building. You know what I'm saying? PV Nation, he said, how we feeling? Feeling good, feeling great. You know what I'm saying? Jair's in the building. What up, PV Nation? And listen, we got a lot to talk about, man, because I don't know how many of you guys saw the press conference. All right. Listen, I was there. I was there live and full effect. All right. And let me tell you, first of all, PV Nation was in the building. All right. People talk about PV Nation was in the building. All right. In the building. And listen, we was there. The energy was infectious. You guys have seen some of the different things that have been going around and that's been transpiring in general, man. So you kind of already know what's really been up in terms of this press conference and some of the things that Coach Jack's been sharing. But I'm going to share a little bit more of my thoughts about those things. But first and foremost, before we get into that, man, you already know what we got to do. We got to shout out, you know what I'm saying, our big, you know what I'm saying, subscribers. And first and foremost, you already know we got to get it in with the home team. And we do that, right? If you don't got your own home team, you can get yours now. You can start off by connecting with my man, Jeff McKissick. He is a PV alumni that's a Texas licensed loan officer with Fairway Independent Mortgage Company, and he'll guide you seamlessly through the home buying process. See, many of us are unaware of our credit score or our true financial situation, but Jeff will help you develop a step-by-step plan to improve your financial standing, making your dream of owning a home achievable sooner than you think. See, Jeff understands your financial situation may not be perfect, but listen, that's okay. The sooner you start the conversation is the sooner you two can solve the problems like credit issues and student loan debt. So don't let the fear of achieving new heights hold you back from getting the home of your dreams. Perfect for your family and for hosting those PV watch parties. Get started now on taking the first step towards your new home and taking your next big step in your life. Don't delay. Talk with Jeff today so you can be in your home tomorrow. All right. And he looks forward to speaking with you soon. But listen, once you find that property that's all your own, once you find that place that's like none of you, say, hey, man, this is going to be a perfect place to watch what PV about to do to boys in the fall. All right. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a second, what PV about to do to them boys in the fall. Because I already see some people in here creeping. You know what I'm saying? I already see some people in here creeping. I ain't going to point no fingers. But some people in here creeping, all right, because they know, they feel that energy too. It's infectious, all right? But for you to make sure that this home is going to be the perfect place to invite people over and you ain't going to have nothing falling on you, you know what I'm saying, like roofing caving in. You want to make sure not only that you have your loan officer in place, but, man, you know what I'm saying, you got to have your inspection team in place too. So when you're thinking big, right, and big is getting that home your own, right? So when you're thinking big about your home purchase, and want a thorough assessment of your biggest investment, man, listen, you owe it to yourself to contact Big. That's Blueprint Improvement Group. Big provides home inspections in the greater Houston area and is owned and operated by a proud PV mechanical engineer, Neil Harris. Their experienced inspectors use advanced tools and techniques to assess every aspect of the property from the roof to the foundation. Visit thinkbig.com or text 713-259-0673 to book your home inspection. Support the team that supports the team. You feel me? Support the team that supports the team. And so, man, listen, you already know what to do. Make sure you hit up my man Neil, all right, with Big Home Inspections. And listen, he's talking about from the roof to the foundation. And that's what we're doing right now. What we're doing right now as a home team is really building the foundation. All right. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking about building for championships, you're talking about building and doing something big for not just right now, but into the future, man, listen, you got to talk about what's that foundation, right? You know what I'm saying? That foundation, that goal that's being set in place. And so first and foremost, man, I just got to say from the news conference, you know, from the press conference, one, listen, it's huge. And we talked about it here on this channel, man. We talked about it here multiple times. When I say, listen, when you're talking about, you know what I mean, setting goals, you never can achieve a goal that you don't aim for. And so that's what Coach Jackson did. One of the things that I love from the press conference was setting squarely before everybody that was there, setting squarely before them, like, listen, the goal is SWAC championship and Celebration Bowl. Period, point blank, right? And he made a statement that I'm only here. I didn't come here to win the SWAC race. Listen, if I was going to do that, I could have stayed in the Gulf South Conference. You feel me? I came here to win SWAC championships, plural, right? And to win the Celebration Bowl. That's what I came here to do. And so, first and foremost, when you talk about just the press conference, from just winning the press conference, I think there's nobody who watched that press conference who can say that they were not, one, impressed by Coach Jackson, but two, you know, you can't say that, man, you didn't feel in the room, or whether it was watching on TV, your computer, your phone, right? You didn't feel like, man, this is a guy that I would love to play for, right? To be able to speak, right, that language and speak, say, hey, listen, I'm going to set the vision for you. And that's what a leader is, right? When you're talking about somebody that's looking to lead your program, you want somebody that's going to come in and set a clear vision, right? Have a clear target before you. And now we can go back and step by step create a plan and put things in place to say, hey, this is how we get to that vision. This is how we get to that goal. And so from first and foremost, from that standpoint, yeah, listen, he had guys ready to run through a wall for him. And that's what you want, right? And we talking about not just the players, but you're also talking about the fans, talking about the supporters, right? You're talking about donors. You're talking about those who are willing to take money out their pocket and give, right? You talking about that, man. Listen, that's what T-Jack had individuals ready to do, and so that's really the reality of, you know, what was going on and what went on there. And so I'm super extremely excited, you know what I mean, in order to really be able to see, you know, what Coach Jackson is really going to be able to do over these next few years. Because at the end of the day, I believe that he is creating an environment of success. And really, and I was talking on another show, you know, recently, and one thing I said is, like, listen, you don't get to this point overnight. You don't get to the point where you're saying, hey, I'm gonna hire a coach, Tremaine Jackson, just out of nowhere. No, you actually you have to build up to that point where you say, hey, listen, SWAC West is not enough. The SWAC West is not acceptable, right? You have to build up to something like that, to making a move like this that we have just made as a collective. And this has been something that's been growing in the hearts and minds of the fan base, not just since yesterday. This has been years in the making. And yes, listen, you're going to have those in the fan base. You're going to have those in the collective. I mean, any type of big group of people are going to have individuals who are going to say all sorts of things. Hey, listen, the Bible tells us that the children of Israel left Egypt, and them boys was like, listen, we had it better in slavery. Okay, like, what? The boys said they had it better in slavery. They wanted to go back to Egypt, all right? After God did all the miracles. So you telling me that you ain't going to have people in your fan base who are like, oh, winning the division it ain't good enough. You think you ain't gonna have people in your fan base that say that? When you got boys who was about to go back to Egypt after they done got free and had a miracle walking over the Red Sea. Come on now, that don't even make sense, right? You telling me that when our good Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and even hey, when our man, you know what I'm saying, Malcolm X was trying to make moves, you telling me when the Black Panther Party was putting things in works and putting things in place, you telling me there wasn't nobody in the Black community that was telling them, well, I don't know if we want to. I mean, you think we're gonna have enough funds and be able to keep this going to be giving out some free breakfast and some. You don't think that there was nobody who was talking like that? Come on, you listen. You're not making any sense. Okay, you don't understand humanity. Then that's just the reality, right? You don't understand how human beings are. That's just what that is. And I can't help you. Like I can't help you there, right? But the reality is, there's always gonna be people in a group of people that's gonna feel that way. That's just what it is, right? And so, are there individuals who can be in PV Nation who had that mindset thought process? Probably, right? But when you look at the general movement here and there and everywhere, listen, boys is like, listen, it's been time. It's been time. And the expectations, right, have now increased. And, I think I'll probably do a show, saying sometime in the future where we talk about, listen, the steps to that process. Because I understand some people are like, hey, listen, we don't need to run ahead of ourselves. Hey, there are steps to everything. There's always steps to success, right? But we talked about it before. We said, listen, what's the number one thing? If you want to build a strong fan base, if you want to get to the point where you're talking about not SWAC West titles, but SWAC championships and Celebration Bowl championship, what's the first thing we said? What's the first thing we talked about? I told y'all, the first thing is expectations. Period, point blank. Listen, everything that you're going to do out following that is based on your expectation. You don't go out and shoot your shot at guys who coming from these P4 programs, guys who say, hey man, they got offers from here and there and everywhere. You don't go shoot your shot at them if your expectations aren't that. Listen, not only do we want to be SWAC good, we want to be FCS good, right? We want to be top 5 of the top 25. Well, listen, you gotta shoot your shot at a different caliber of athlete, a different caliber of player, a different type of defensive and offensive lineman. But your expectations have to be in place first. You only move based on what your expectations are. And so what we're seeing now from what T Jack is talking about is that's what we're talking about, right? So I'm super doubly excited, you know what I'm saying, by what T Jack is doing, you know what I'm saying, by what's going on. When I look at, right, just the media, I mean, if you look at just the media presence that now he has brought, and one thing I think that's kind of almost like, I think that it's like lost in translation is the fact that Jermaine Jackson he's really out there like that. Like he's a part of Coaches Association. He's putting on coaches clinics, right? He's rubbing shoulders with other college and NFL head coaches. He's been a part of NFL fellowships. This is not somebody who is just, hey, I just coach, I do it. No, this is somebody who is seeking to hone his craft for real. And you can even see that when you look at the staff that he's putting together. Listen, this guy putting together a staff that knows how to win, and staff and people who've won at multiple places. I mean, not just the head coach that won at multiple places. I mean, the positional coaches, right? The coordinators, like they've won at multiple places. So the reality is, man, like he is somebody who's seeking to really hone in on his craft. And when you see the excitement he's created, not just in the alum, but listen, do you realize KHOU? I mean, they replayed the whole entire press conference. The whole entire press conference. I mean, KHOU, Channel 11. I mean, Houston, Texas. You're talking about millions of people who have their eyes on this station, and they decided to replay the whole press conference. I mean, if you're talking about being able to get coverage from this, I mean, when you talk about the fourth largest city in America, that, hey, you're going to have news stations that say, man, we're so interested and excited about what's going on here on the Hill at PV that, yeah, we're gonna make sure that we cover this team. And I mean, think about it. If the not only has he been infectious in causing that, but also then add winning to that, right? And actually competing on the level that you say you want to compete on. Well, man, now you're really talking about eyeballs getting to campus. I mean, obviously that helps and benefits President LeGrand when she talks about her journey to eminence. And obviously that also helps when you talk about continuing to be a recruiting havoc in the state of Texas and elsewhere, right? And so, listen, man, the press conference was A1. Oh, man, talking about winning the press conference, you know what I'm saying? Listen, he won a press conference so much. I see Emmett Jones put it here, right? He won a press conference so much, season tickets on sale tomorrow. Now, this is the first time in a long time I've seen season tickets on sale this early, all right? But I know AD guy was like, listen, we got some momentum. We got some stuff going right now. I'm not about to let this chance pass me by. Like, we about to put these season tickets on sale right now, right? About to put these season tickets on sale right now, right? Because he already know, you know what I'm saying? He already know what it was, right? You know what I'm saying? And so it's super exciting, man, just to see, you know, what is going on and, you know, what's being done. You know, I really can't wait, you know what I mean, to really just see how what else he's gonna do, what else he has, you know, in his cupboard, as it was seen, right? You know, and a lot of the stuff. Listen, the one thing that, you know, we paid attention to was how much Coach Jackson was working on his own by himself through the Christmas break and through the first of the year. I mean, on his own, but still at the same time being able to get the job done, right? Going out, evaluating players, and putting offers out. I mean, that's exactly what you want to be doing, right? And he was getting it done. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. And that's exactly what Coach T. Jack was doing, man. And so, like I say, man, I'm really, really, you know, super excited to really, you know, have him as the head coach of this program. You know, I think he's just going to continue to do wonders, right? In terms of not just, you know, not just the staff that he's put together, right? Not just what I'm seeing him already starting to do in recruiting, but I know also when it comes down to now getting the guys prepared right in the spring season, and then also in summer and fall, so we see them on the field. I just think you're just gonna see, man, things just being laid in place, one thing at a time. And so, man, listen, I don't think I've ever seen PV Nation as excited for a hire as I've seen them excited right now. I mean, you know, even when Cynthia Cooper came through, obviously that was huge, and she did some major things, you know what I'm saying, on the Hill. But obviously, when you talk about the biggest sport, you know, in all of college sports, right, and then talk about HBCUs as well, I think for us, this has probably been the biggest and most exciting hire, you know, basically this century, right? You know what I'm saying? And shouts out to everybody else that's come through, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But I think when I look at just the excitement around it and the build, but again, that build up and that excitement is because we have somebody that's aligned with actually where the nation, our mind is, right? Our mind is we ain't got these facilities for no reason. We don't got these facilities to be finished second, third, fourth in the West. That's not happening. That's not why we got this, right? We got this because it's time for us to go to the next level and turn up. So that being said, man, I wanted to pull up and kind of go through and show you some of the guys that Coach T. Jack, you know, has already started to pull in. Let me get yeah, hey, listen, Jared say this new level energy. this that new level energy, right? You know what I'm saying? This is definitely that new level energy. Let me get this pulled up so you guys can check this out. But man, listen, he got some things brewing, and it's really exciting. Honestly, it's just really exciting to see all the things that he got going on. So first and foremost, let me see if I can pull this up right now for you guys. Share my screen. Boom. All right. All right. Hope y'all can see that. First and foremost, right, we got up Matthew Moore. So right now I think we're at 9, right? You know what I'm saying? You talk about total commitments. We got 9 total commitments right now currently. I think that we keep working. We had a lot of guys that we lost out throughout this past year. Some guys have graduated, had a couple guys hit the portal, you know what I'm saying? And so, there's some work that's going to be needed to be done, in order to fill this roster out. And not just fill the roster out, obviously, but bring in guys that really can actually get the job done. And so, first and foremost, man, we got my man Matthew Moore. Now he's out of Killeen, Texas. He actually went to University of North Texas, right? So he's a transfer that's transferring over from North Texas. He's 6 foot, 233 pounds, right? So you're talking about, not necessarily the prototypical height you think about, right? But definitely a guy that's a big guy in terms of how broad he is, right? And he's going to be able to bring and play that inside linebacker role in a way to be able to plug those holes, right? You talk about coming out of Killeen Ellison High School. He was a guy who finished with 129 tackles, right? 93 solo tackles as a senior, had 17 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 3 pass breakups, and 1 forced fumble. So he was a 2-time first-team All-District selection over in Killeen, Texas. And so he did appear in 6 games in 2024, for North Texas, and recorded 2 tackles on the season. Both of those came in the game against Tulsa. He did not play in 2023. He redshirted that year and did not see any game action, right? So this is a guy who obviously came out of Texas, Texas high school ball, right? Was able to put up some numbers, went to North Texas. And he's a guy who has an opportunity, has multiple years left, talking about 3 years of eligibility left for Matthew Moore. And so I'm excited to see, what Coach Jackson and also Coach Anderson, right, who's now on. We haven't even talked about really the staff, right, the different staff members we brought in. But I'm excited to see what they do with these guys and how they really can make this thing work. We do have a quarterback committed as well. That's Tyler Nelson. He's actually transferring in from Garden City Community College. We'll talk a little bit about him as well. But next up, man, we got Michael Ray Jr., right? Michael Ray Jr. So this is a defensive back here. He's coming over from UTEP. He was at UTEP, and I believe before UTEP, he was at Tyler Community College, JUCO, I believe. And so, this is a guy, 6'2", 200 pounds. One thing that I'm seeing, man, is like there's a lot of height, right? You're seeing a lot of these DBs, 6'2" DBs, right? A lot of times we've seen that, Alabama State is a school that makes sure, right, they go in and find themselves some tall DBs. But we're seeing that also being done here in this recruiting, season, man. Bringing in a lot of DBs, safeties, and corners, right, nickel guys who have some height on them, right? You know what I'm saying? So this guy is 6'2", 200 pounds. He is a junior, right? And so he played in 7 games at Tyler Junior College in 2023. Had 30 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 3 breakups. Had a season high 10 tackles and interception in a win against Trinity Valley Community College as well, right? And so he's a guy who also comes from Crosby, Texas, right? So again, when they talk about going out and getting guys that's looking to come back home, that's what you're seeing a lot of here, right? And not just any guys, but guys, right, who left Houston and who left with some stars behind their name, right? Michael Ray Jr. specifically is a guy. Not only was he a guy coming out of high school who had some looks, but he also was a guy who came out of high school. He came out of JUCO as a 3-star transfer DB from JUCO, right? So that means he really played well. He really did some things in JUCO that basically gave him the opportunity to go to UTEP this past year. Now, again, he didn't see game action at UTEP this past year, but again, this is a guy who has the abilities. And what I always say about stars is that these stars mean that this is somebody that has some skill sets already in place, that if you can enhance those skill sets, you can really see something special. So to me, it doesn't necessarily mean that that guy is going to come and pop off, right? Because again, a lot of those guys got stars from before in high school, right? But it does mean that, hey, there's something there, right? There's talent, there's skill set that's there, and that you can already have a base to work with. And that's how I look at it, man. And so next up, man, it said first time ever. Yeah, listen, first time ever. 2015 was the first year season ticket sales. Hey, man, it's the first time ever I feel like I've seen season tickets being sold this early on, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't normal, right? You know what I'm saying? If there's one thing I can say, that ain't normal, right? That ain't what PV normally does. You know what I'm saying? They wait till usually like the National Signing Day, and then they start releasing some ticket sales. But we doing some stuff early this year. So, come on, man, Michael Ray Jr. Keeping it going right. Next up, again, another defensive back, right? And we seeing, there's a lot of defensive players. I think 7 out of the 9 of the players that we signed so far have been on the defensive side of the ball. And so I'm expecting that, this defense is going to be a lot different. A lot of our problems, first of all, we've all said it, was in the secondary. I mean, it just is what it is. And so it looks like coaches have also noticed that and recognized that. And so they're bringing in a lot of guys, through this transfer portal, who can help us to kind of shore up that side of the ball. So you talk about William White. He was a guy who in high school was a 2-year ladderman, first team all-district selection as a senior. He played 6A Division II ball, right? Finished his last year at Hebron with 65 tackles, and that's, of course, up there in that, Dallas area, right? A little bit, I think like Carrollton, right, or something like that. Y'all correct me. I ain't originally from Texas, right? But I know it's up there a little bit north of Dallas, I believe, right? 65 tackles, 6 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery that he returned for a touchdown, and an interception he returned for a touchdown, right? He first went off and spent the first 2 seasons of his college time at the University of Houston and was part of 2 bowl championship teams. Then he appeared in 4 games in 2023 at Northwestern State. Obviously, remember what happened with that year. So that was kind of a wash because of that. 2024, he delivered 6 tackles and broke up a pass against Weber State, set a career-high 8 tackles at Tulsa on August 29th. And so this past year season, he ended up with 32 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and 2 pass defenses, from his safety position. And so he's 6'1", 205 pounds, from Carrollton, Texas, Hebron High School. And so I believe he has 2 years of eligibility left. And so this is a guy that's going to be to come in. I remember actually the game this past year against we played against us. He laid a nice hit on Trayvon Spiller. So I know this is a guy who's going to come in and seek to really, seek to elevate, right, that DB room, especially that safety room, right? Next up, because you got 9 guys, I think, so far. I said, yeah, listen, coach was sending out offers on Christmas Day. You know what I'm saying? None of the QBs into the transfer portal. I don't know if Jaden Johnson still has a year left. I believe there's a possibility for him to have a year left. Now, he did go to JUCO, so I'm sure if he actually applies, he could have a year left for sure now, because NCAA just granted that JUCO guys can have that extra year, right? You know what I'm saying? So the next guy up, all right, we got Jaic Hopkins, right? Jaic Hopkins, and he's coming from, Youngstown State. He is currently 6'4", I believe 290 pounds. So this is it's a big guy coming in to help us, on that defensive line. He is a junior from Greenville, Florida. He originally went to Marshall, University of Marshall, right? He played there for 2 years before coming over to Youngstown State. So this is another guy who they're bringing in to look up, to shore up that defensive front. Now at Youngstown State, he played some backup minutes, 7 tackles, a half tackle for a loss, on the defensive side of the ball. But he's going to be looking to come down here right now to compete for a lot more snaps. Bringing that big body down here, man, to come and solidify that front line. So I'm super excited to see him come down to add to that defensive line room and see what he's able to do in the SWAC. Next up, I'm really super excited about this guy. He actually is a guy who came, another Houston area guy who left out, went to Waco, right? Went to Baylor. He was a 4-star DB coming out of high school. I think he was ranked in the top 100 DBs coming out of the class in that year, man. And so this is a guy who coming out of Mayde Creek, first and foremost, right, has a lot of speed, right? I believe he ran like a 10.4 in the 100, 24 in the 200 meters. So this guy has a lot of speed on him. And so, he's a guy who's going to be able to come in now, right, and really, really be able to help, when you talk about that DB room, right, and really a guy who's really able to bring a lot of speed to that room. And he has a 21.4 in the 200 meters. So 21.4. So, it's going to be super exciting to see him out there on the corner and what he can do. I know he played a few snaps right at Baylor, right, since he was there in 2023. But again, like I say, it's another guy who has the ability to play, a lot more minutes here at PV and to be able to get the job done, man. He only played 3 games in 2023, so he can maintain his red shirt, right? But listen, he was the 31st ranked cornerback nationally by rivals coming out in 2023. And so, again, right, this is another guy who has the ability to get the job done. One thing that was interesting, too, when I was looking up, his history was he had 4 field goal blocks. I thought that was pretty crazy. He blocked 4 field goals. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty dope, man, seeing him sign. And so we're excited to have him added to the room as well. Now, continue to keep it going. Obviously, this right here is a huge sign for Coach Jackson and Coach Anderson as well. Because listen, when you talk about bringing a new culture to a place, it's always great. One, when you can bring other coaches, right? So it's obviously beneficial, that you can bring other coaches over. But man, how beneficial is it for you to bring not just other coaches, but you to also bring other guys over that's basically been, hey man, they seen it, they seen how you do it, they understand how you do it, right? And they're willing to put in the work and to be able to lead others to get it done. And talking about what this defense and what they want to really do, that 212 that they call it, want to bring that over here to PV. I'm excited to see that they have the guy in the middle. Now the guy in the back, Larry Elder, who's another right all-conference, all-American selection. Now he ain't got no more eligibility, right? You know what I'm saying? But Sterling Roberts had another year eligibility. So I'm happy to see him come over right in that linebacker position. He was a guy who's a first-team all-Gulf South Conference selection. So this is a guy who knows how to play, knows how to get the job done, right? I know he had 47 tackles last year. I believe like 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. This is a guy who, can get in the backfield, right? Who can create havoc, right? Like Coach Jackson talks about, and like he likes, right? And so I'm super excited for Sterling Roberts as well, because I think, man, you got a guy who can instantly come in and elevate that linebacker room. And especially, right, when you talk about coming in to put in a new concept for the guys that are here, but also when you got guys that are coming in through the transfer portal to come and learn this new terminology and learn how we do it here on this defense. Well, it's good to have a guy in the middle who, hey man, he knows exactly what the coach is looking for. He knows exactly how things work. And so, and especially when we talk about bringing, like Coach Jackson said, hey, listen, he's trying to bring pressure from the top of the hill, from the top of Panther Stadium. All right. So we need guys who know how to get it done if we're going to be bringing that pressure from the top of Panther Stadium. So with that being said, let's keep it going. Right. So now we got one of our first high commits that is on the offensive side of the ball. This is Jacoby Banks. Now, shout out to Jacoby. We're actually going to have him on next Sunday, right, on the 19th. So make sure you guys check that out. Be on the lookout for that, right? We're going to have him on just to talk about his commitment to side, talk about, what he's been so far, what he's learned, and also, what made him choose to come and bring his talents to the Hill, man. And so we're going to be talking to Mr. Jacoby Banks on next week. But again, when you talk about speed, and you just look all across the board, because even we talk about Matthew Moore, the linebacker position, right? Even though he's 6 foot 233, man, that guy has some speed. You turn on the tape, right? Look at Tayshawn Wilson, right? Now you're talking about a Jacoby Banks. Like we're literally adding speed all across the board. So I'm really loving it. He's a guy who started off his career out of Fort Bend Marshall. Again, another Houston area guy that's coming back home. Started his career at U of H. And then he went off to go to University of Memphis, right? And so he's a guy who really saw a lot of time when you talk about the special teams. I think he had 52 of his 58 snaps were special teams snaps. He also was a guy who in high school played quarterback, receiver, and running back. So in Memphis, after they had some guys go down, they actually moved him to the running back position. He got some snaps at running back, some game snaps at running back. But this is a guy, man, who truly is a receiver and a return guy. And so when you talk about, again, elevating your return room, and this is one thing we've been talking about the last couple of years, we need somebody special in the return game who that at the drop of a dime, man, they can make something happen, give you some short fields, if not even take it to the house, right? And so super shouts out to this Jacoby Banks, man, this signing. This is a guy who is going to definitely see a lot of action on the field. When you talk about, this past year, we had the ability to bring in, somebody for them to be able to, take the top off. And now, when you talk about losing, that speed, right? Well, now you get to add that speed component back to this team. And listen, Coach Jackson already told us, listen, there's going to be an air raid offense with a power run game. All right. And so one thing you need in the air raid offense is a guy who can take some short and take it a distance, or a guy who can take a slant, who can go and get it on the post route right. And this guy really, you'll see, check out on what he's done, man. He can do a lot of those things. So I'm super excited for Jacoby Banks. And again, man, we're gonna have him on the show on next week. And I think that's all that we got here. We got two more guys. One is Nick Haynes. I believe he was actually the first domino to drop and to sign. So Nick Haynes from Towson University. He's a guy who's another guy that comes in 6'2", 210 pounds, and he's a guy who's a really versatile guy. Play nickel, outside linebacker. So that's really going to be great, right? Because as Coach Jackson talks about from a defensive standpoint, we're going to be a multiple team, right? We're going to be a team that you're going to see different fronts from us, and you're going to just see, based on what the situation calls for, what the other team likes to do, you're going to see different packages. And so this guy is a guy who can come in and really provide the ability to have somebody that's versatile that you can use in a lot of different ways. Same thing with like a Sterling Roberts, who really started his career out of Florida as a safety. And now, obviously he's a linebacker, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I think Nick Haynes is you can see almost in the same vein. Now he only has 1 year eligibility left, right? But again, hey, listen, he getting in at the right time, right? You know what I'm saying? You come in and make this year special, man. So we want to welcome Nick Haynes, to the Hill. And lastly, we got my man Tyler Nelson. All right. Now, listen, hands down, Tyler, listen, he got the best graphic. He won the best graphic award so far for all the commits so far that we've got coming in. Hey, listen, this is a fire graphic. All right. Y'all need to get with my man graphic team, all right? Because this one's fire. I ain't gonna lie. I love this one, right? Y'all see Panther Stadium in the background, and y'all see them supposedly we ain't got no fans, right? But y'all see them stands. Okay, I'm just checking, right? And by the way, just so we can make this clear, right? We did finish in the top 30 this year in FCS attendance. I just want I just want to make that disclaimer because people are acting like we ain't got no fans out here. All right, but we did finish in the top 30 FCS attendance, so I'm just saying, right? But shouts out to Tyler Nelson, right? He's a guy who's coming over for, like I said, Garden City Community College. From I believe 6'2", 220 pounds, right? So it's going to be super dope to see him have a chance. Now, this is a guy who's, I can't lie, man, he's super dynamic in the run game, like super dynamic in the run game. He got some finishing speed on him for sure. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how Coach Jaic looks to use him. Completion percentage, I definitely like to see him have a little bit higher completion percentage, but haven't had a chance to really watch any full games, right, to see what was the situations of, saying why the percentage could be low. Because sometimes, not a guy who willing to go ahead and throw the ball away, right, not take a sack, right, not put the ball in harm's way. But overall, man, this is a guy who's going to be looking to come in and again compete for that role. Coach Jackson said he's looking to bring in 5 to 6 quarterbacks, and he's just going to roll the ball out there and say, may the best man win, right? And so super excited to have Tyler Nelson come on over. He started his career off at Kennesaw State, right? So he was at Kennesaw State for 1 year, then now came over to Garden City Community College, and now obviously he's joining us on the hill, man. So shouts out to Tyler, shouts out to whoever your graphics guy is, because listen, you winning the graphics card right now. You in top spot right now. I can't lie, right? Now the other graphics are nice too, but I don't know. It's just something about having you got the Texas with the PV with the PV stands in the background. I mean, hey, listen, I like this one. I ain't gonna lie. Out of all of them, that graphic's the one for me. That one gets it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I know. Shouts out to my man. I know Janarius. I know Color Day, right? You know what I'm saying? I know they handle some of the internal graphics, right? So some of the ones we've seen so far, I know that they definitely put those together. But I'm not sure who did Tyler's graphics, right? Sterling Roberts, Nick Haynes, I'm not sure who did their graphics, or Hopkins, Jaic Hopkins. Those, I'm not sure. The other ones, though, that we saw, that they all were similar, I know those came from internal. So, you know what I'm saying? That's either Color Day or Janarius, one of them guys getting the job done. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, listen, FAMU be having some stuff, though. I can't lie. FAMU be having their stuff in order. So I can't even mess with FAMU. I'm trying to, what I need us to do is to get a full-time media person like Josh. All right. That's what we need to do next. You know what I'm saying? If we can get us a full-time media person like Josh, I think we're gonna really be on to something then. You know what I'm saying? If we get that done. So with that said, man, hey, listen, I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know what I'm saying, the basketball teams as well. I know that they have, started conference play, and they're going and they're getting it in, man. Right now, the women are sitting 0-3. It's not looking good for the home team on the women's side, right? The women's side it's not looking good, right? So I know we started the year off with a game against Southern. We lost that game 60 to 48. Then I know we followed up and played Grambling. I believe that was that game we lost 67 to 44 against Grambling. No, I'm tripping. 67 to 44. Yeah, 67-44 Grambling beat us that game. And then this last game was against Mississippi Valley State, and I believe that was a 69-52 loss for the Lady Panthers, right? So, we've had a couple, unfortunately, a couple games that we weren't able to get the job done. At the end of the day, man, we really just got to find some consistent scoring, on the women's side of things. That's really just what it is. I mean, until we really able to find, a consistent score for multiple places, it's really just going to be trouble. It just is what it is. And it's not really looking good for the home team. Honestly, the way we've looked so far, we have 3 wins, but all those 3 wins were against lower level competition. I mean, we just call them state to state, right? And I don't even know, outside of that Georgia game for half, I don't think we've really been competitive really in any game. You know what I'm saying? So, it just honestly just is what it is. And so I don't know what would need to be done. I believe that, hey, I think this is the last year for Coach Pugh. can definitely see, golf possibly moving on from Coach Pugh and seeking to bring in somebody else um, who can shake up the women's side of things, man. Because I just don't see right now that there's going to be any real hope for us being able to do anything this year. Now, I do like the two young guards that we brought in. I think Schultz is one of them, and then C.J. Wilson. I do like them. I think that's a solid base when you talk about young players for us to build with. Amari Williams is not. I think this is only her sophomore year from a playing standpoint, right? So I think we do have a couple young pieces that we can build around if we can bring in some more talent. But I think right now, man, um, I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? When you talk about the women's team. Now, of course, on the men's side, listen, like Jared said, the men look good, right? And said people sleeping on the men's basketball team. You know what I'm saying? He said this is not the year to slack with a new AD and play. Hey, this is not the year. But I think it's a contract year anyway, right? So at the end of the day, that just is what it is, right? It's a contract year. So, but now when we talk about the men's side of things, right? And I've been saying this since early on. Now they didn't come from out of conference with any specific wins, right? That stood out. I think they only had that one game that they played early in the year against like College Biblical Studies or North American or something like that, right? That they won. But when you looked at how they played, looked at how close they were in certain games, looked at how they played against Oklahoma, right? Looked at how they played against was it Loyola Marymount? They had some games there, right? Even the Incarnate Word game that, they were right there, right in the mix. Now, if we're talking about what I would say the Achilles heel of the team is right now, is still size, right? And it's just been like that for years. I just guess that's the guys that Coach Smith likes, but we don't really have that size. The good thing is a lot of teams in the SWAC aren't going to be taking advantage of that. But now Southern, who's one of the best teams as it seems so far this year, is a team that has size, right? And so if we saw in a game against Southern, I think one thing we couldn't do was get a few consistent stops in the end of the game to fully get back in the game. It was a great game. I can't wait to see the second game against Southern. Lost that one 84-80. But a lot of the times they were just able to get more points in the paint than us because they're just bigger than us at the end of the day. And sometimes they could just honestly just kind of bully some of our smaller guards in order to get to the goal. And so, that's something that's just going to be hard to figure out at the end of the day because you just don't got the size. But now this team is a team that has the ability to score from the outside. One of the issues I had last year was we had a lot of small guards, but man, we really didn't have no guys who can shoot from the outside. If we're going to be small, we need to be able to shoot. And so this year we definitely delivered in terms of getting guys in who can shoot the ball from the mid-range and from outside. Got a lot of guys that create their own shot. When you talk about, Petaway, you talk about Tillman, right? Nick Anderson that's out right now, and I know he's going to be coming back later on this year, which is great, right? Because we got a guy right now who's out, who's really a big piece. That's a guy who probably is a guy you say, man, first team off SWAC type of talent, who's not even playing right now, right? And the team still has the ability to get the job done like they've done in these first couple games. But the Mississippi State game, that's the other one I was thinking about too, right? You know what I'm saying? So, it's just, I think that this team definitely has the ability to really, really get the job done. It's just going to come down to one, can we rebound consistently? That Southern game we gave, especially in the second half, into that game, a lot of second chance opportunities, a lot of second chance points. And then, man, having to figure out how we can make the lack of size at certain moments not an issue. I do like SWAC play better because we get to keep a lot more of our guys on the floor because I think that depth issue is really what hurt us in these out-of-conference games. We're in a lot of games until you start to get deeper into your bench because foul troubles and fouls start to really ring up, and that kind of causes a separation. In the SWAC, we're not going to have as much separation because the way the SWAC calls games, I feel like it's a lot different than I see in other conferences. But yeah, man, we got to figure that out. But Now this Valley game, we got the job done. I didn't like that we took a lot. I feel like we took a little bit more 3-point shots than I would like to see. And I feel like that kept Valley in the game a lot longer than I feel like we could have really pushed that game out of reach and got up to that 18, 20 point range. If we just said we're gonna keep attacking them versus launching as many threes as I saw us shoot. But again, hey, listen, at the end of the day, we got the job done. We can definitely shoot the ball right. You know what I'm saying? And it's something we definitely do well. And so he said Southern and PV definitely like the top 2 in the SWAC. So far, I would say Bethune-Cookman also, they look pretty good too as well. And so I think those 3 teams right now have the ability to kind of get the job done. But let's deep dive a little bit more, right? So Grambling, we played them on January 4th, a little bit over a week ago. 73-55 win. Grambling right now, y'all, is 0-3 in conference. Can you imagine? I mean, Graham 0-3. Now I don't feel like Graham is going to stay there. I feel like they're going to tweak and figure some things out. But it don't look like this is Graham of last year, right? Maybe they lost too many pieces to the portal, but I think it's going to be tough sledding from them this year. But I don't think they're going to finish at the bottom of the pack. I think they're going to kind of get their bearings and get back in it. But as you see, man, we really handled business against Grambling. Won the first half 36-29, and then won the second half 37-26. So Sanaje Petaway, 23 points, led the team. Jordan Chibnall, 4 rebounds, and Orlando Horton had 7 assists in this game. PJ Edwards led Grambling with 15 points, 6 rebounds, and then Mikael Stevenson had 6 assists. We talked about the game against Southern. Obviously, that one was a super exciting game if you were watched it online or saw it in person. So Southern won the first half 34-32. So went to half down by 2. And then 50-48 was the second half. And so see, both teams got rolling in the second half as far as scoring the ball. So it was an 84-80 game. Tanaj Petaway, 21 points for us. Orlando Horton with 5 rebounds. Now, Orlando Horton, one of the shortest guys on the team, leading the team in rebounds. So that lets you know how tough a job, right, we had rebounding the ball this game. And also he had 4 assists. AJ Barnes, 19 points, also had 9 rebounds and 6 assists on this game. Now, I want to deep dive into this game a little bit more because, looking at the box score, right, when you talk about, points in the paint, it's like Southern had 58 points in the paint to our 28, right? And so, that's really that's a huge difference, right? That's a 30-point difference right there. And so, like we talk about, well, that's the difference in the game right there, right? You know what I'm saying? You talk about, the difference in the points in the paint. Now, we shot better from the 3-point line. We were 8 of 16 from 3, 50%, to Southern's 4 of 14 for 26%. Southern also was 14 of 27 from the free throw line, only shot 51%. And then we shot 22 of 31 for 71%. So, again, if we shot 80% that game, that's also probably a game we win if we shoot a little better from the free throw line. Not horrible, but if we have a good game from the free throw line. And then obviously we had 26 points off turnovers to Southern's 26 points off turnovers. So there was a wash. Bench points 49-35. So Southern had more points off the bench. So Orlando Horton finished the game with 20. He was what, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line this game. And then looked like Tanaj Petaway was 3 for 6. Elijah Terry was 2 of 2. And Marcellus Bryant for 1 for 1. So, like I said, unfortunately, right, those points in the paint, and especially in the second half, I think that really hurt. As you see, Southern shot 61% in the second half, and we shot 58%, so it was pretty good as well. But that 61% not being able to stop them, but that's because there's a lot of those points was second chance points and points in the paint. So 20 second chance point for Southern to 5 for us, right? So second chance points, points in the paint, that's your game right there, right? But I feel like, again, right, at the end of the day, we'll be able to get that done. You know what I'm saying? We'll be able to switch figure that out and actually get that done when you talk about, the next game around. Now, the game against Mississippi Valley, obviously Tanaj Petaway, 22 points, 7 rebounds. Jordan Tillman had 3 assists. Alvin Stedrick, 17 points. He also had 6 rebounds and 2 assists for Antonio Sis. So we won the first half 39-26, lost the second half 39-35, but ended up winning 74-65. So a 9-point win against Mississippi Valley. And of course, tomorrow we have the game at 5:30 against Arkansas Pine Bluff. And so that's going to be over on Pine Bluff Sports Network. You guys can check that out. But yeah, with that being said, man, just wanted to go through and talk a little bit about, both of the basketball teams. Like I say, I think both of them are on different spectrums right now. The men's team, I think, is definitely trending upward, and I think they definitely have a shot to be in that top 4 this year in terms of teams in the SWAC. Be able to have a chance to get, have a deep run in the tournament. I really think they still got a shot to even win the regular season, right? And listen, we haven't won a championship now in 2 years, right? It's just a athletic program. So we need somebody to get it done. And so this men's team, I think, definitely has the job to get it done. On the women's side of things, man, we really got to figure things out and figure out where we're going to get consistent scoring from. And really just got to figure out our identity, man. It's going to be tough sledding. Listen, we still rooting, we still supporting Lady Panthers all the way. But I definitely think it's time to probably move on and really find the lady or the gentleman to bring in to really rally these girls and really, bring back that successful program that we've seen over the years, over the past couple of decades, right? Because, we living in a rich state when you talk about Texas, not just football talent, but basketball talent as well, right? And that's on the men and women's side of things. So I think there's going to be a lot of options open. Listen, we're not just we don't just have a program from a football standpoint that's attractive. We also have a attractive athletic program you talk about from a basketball standpoint too. And so I know that job also will be coveted by many people too, right? So also, last thing, man, before we get out of your hair for this evening, I also wanted to talk just a little bit about, man, hey, listen, not only did the season tickets come out already, but you know what else came out? Do you know what else came out? The schedule, right? Oh, man, the football schedule, right, is out already. I want to just talk a little bit about the schedule. Just go through it just in case you guys haven't seen it already. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up so that way you can see it. Let me pull this up. Let me pull the schedule up, right? And overall, I like the schedule. I do have one slight issue. I don't like the North American guy. I can't lie to you. All in all, everything else though is like A1. I just don't like the North American game. But now, I just don't like the game, right? I feel like there's so many, teams that are Southland teams or teams in Texas or whatever that we can play. But I guess I'm gonna have to let it ride. But what I do love, right, is 6 home games. I like that. I like 5, 6 home games. I think we need to really make our season tickets worth it, right? I mean, no matter who we play in at home, no matter who the game's against, I think we need to make it worthwhile so that people feel like, man, when I get season tickets, it's worth it. I got multiple games that I can come to, right? And so we start off with Texas Southern. Next game against Texas Rio Grande Valley, who's just going to be that first year playing football. I've been saying it for so long. I want to play them and play them early, right? And so, because listen, that program is not going to stay at the bottom for long. I feel like they got the reach. This is a huge school, by the way. I don't know if y'all know. Rio Grande Valley is a huge school. Like, means I want to say close to 30,000 between multiple campuses that they got. So they got a lot of resources to put into this, right? And I think they're going to start really moving, right? So you got Rio Grande Valley second game. Then we got Rice. Then we got Northwestern at home. We got Grambling in Dallas. And then we go outside of Texas. So the first 5 games of the season, literally, we don't leave Texas. I mean, I honestly see it like we really got 5 home games. Because Houston against Texas Southern, that's a home game, right? Then we on Panther Stadium against Texas Rio Grande Valley, that's a home game. Then we got Rice in Houston. Listen, last time I went to Rice, it was a home game. We almost came out there with a victory, first of all, right? Literally, it was like a 3-point game, right? So we literally almost beat Rice last time, and it's in Houston. That's a home game. Then we got Northwestern at Panther Stadium, obviously home game. Then we got Grambling in Dallas. You never know what that is. Dallas is a home game for us, all right? That's definitely a home game, right? So our first away game, right, really is Alcorn on October 4th. And then obviously we go to Southern, got a bye week. Then we got Southern on October 18th. And I love where the bye week is situated too, halfway through the season. I really, really like that. And I keep hearing also through the grapevine that could possibly be Southern's homecoming. So that would be great as well. Y'all already know what we do to Southern homecoming. After that, we have our homecoming October 25th against North American. November 1st, Alabama State at home. Got Alabama A&M on the road, and then we finished with 2 home games against UAPB and Valley, right? So honestly, I love the fact that there's so many things I love about the schedule. The first 5 games is all in Texas, right? That's first and foremost, right? We also finished the year with 4 out of 5 home games. That's awesome as well, right? You know what I'm saying? We also have a bye week in the middle of the season between 6 and I just feel like this is such a championship level schedule, right? You know what I'm saying? And even as much as I would wish, right, to play a higher level, you know, like a Carney World at Nichols, you know what I'm saying, Tarleton or somebody like that on this schedule, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, hey, listen, we got Rio Grande Valley, which is first year them playing FCS football period, right? And we got Northwestern, who was not a great program last year, right? You know what I'm saying? And so the truth is we are in a good position as far as even the teams we play out of conference, you know what I'm saying, to really come out of this with multiple wins, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think we really can get the job done. And I think, man, this is going to be a schedule that we literally can see. We can see a lot of wins on the schedule. I ain't going to lie. I can see a lot of wins on the schedule. And also from a SWAC standpoint, Texas Southern, Grambling, Alcorn, Southern, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, UAPB Valley. At the end of the day, it is what it is, right? Like, you don't have Jackson on the schedule, and you don't have FAMU on the schedule. That goes well for you if you're talking about winning the SWAC West. Now, listen, y'all got to take that up with the SWAC of us not seeing them 2 teams. But Alcorn is going to have at least Jackson State. They haven't played FAMU yet. So either Bethune or FAM is going to roll on their schedule, right? Grambling and Southern haven't played Jackson as a conference game the last couple of years. I know Southern has FAMU as a permanent cross rival game on their schedule, right? Just like Alcorn and Jackson State. So the truth is, when we talk about the other brands in the SWAC West that you always look at as, okay, you really battling with to win this division, Southern, Grambling, Alcorn, their schedules are going to be a lot more difficult next year than our schedule is going to be over the next 2 years. That's just the reality of the situation, which bodes well for us, which gives us a chance, right, to, again, win the SWAC West, get to the SWAC Championship, host the SWAC Championship, right, and get to the Celebration Bowl. And that's what it's all about, right? You also talked about the fact that Grambling, like this past year, Grambling had a great schedule. They didn't have any major. I mean, they didn't have FAM, they didn't have Jackson on their schedule. They had Alabama State at home. I mean, so all that 3. I mean, when you think about the 3 on the opposite and the East, that really those teams, they didn't have those. And so now our three East teams is Valley, Alabama State, and Alabama A&M. A&M coming in with a new coach. I mean, that may take a second for them to get rolling and for Sam Shea to get things in place like he wanted to get in place. It's just reality. Alabama State, I mean, listen, they lost big pieces to their coaching staff, which is their defensive coaches, both the DB coach and the defensive coordinator, right, which went to UAB, right? Now, obviously, I think Andrew Body's still there, right? He should be healed by then. But listen, Alabama State got things to figure out. And then obviously Valley got a lot of things to figure out. They ain't got no coach right now. So, I mean, we talk about our cross games. I mean, that bodes well for us if the other 3 main powers, right, in our side of the conference, right, they got to go up against teams on the other side that typically are the better teams in the conference. It just is what it is, right? So, listen, the schedule bodes very, 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 very well for us to get to the SWAC championship and to host it. Are we the home team for the State Fair Classic? We always the home team for the State Fair Classic, by the way, because it's in Dallas. But I get you. Yeah. So we got them for homecoming, and then we are back on the schedule for A&M. So Jack has obviously to beat Sam Shady again. Yep. Hey, listen, he definitely does, man. So with that being said, man, I appreciate all of y'all for jumping on and joining the show. Like I said, next week we're gonna have my man Jacoby Banks on just to talk a little bit with him. And we're going to be, really rearing up, some of these conversations with some of these signees. We also have softball season is going to be starting very soon. Baseball season is going to be starting in February, right? So we're right around the corner from a lot more, Prairie View athletics, really getting it in. So be on the lookout tomorrow. I believe the women's game start at 3:00 tomorrow against UAPB, and the men start at 5:30. So be on the lookout to check both of those out over on, UAPB Sports Network. So with that being said, man, I'm going to holler at y'all. I'll see y'all later.